Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might be. Welcome back to the Same Old Arsenal podcast. It's been a whole hour since we've been gone. Lee with his little, well, not little, very good message to the Arsenal hierarchy. We want those questions answered. Getting much love on Twitter, Lee, for that. A lot of people seem to agree with you, sir. So let's hope that it can be discussed, and who knows, it might get in front of the right people. Doubt it, but it might do. But will it make any difference? Probably not. But I've got to say, like I said before, when we did it, I can't see how any Arsenal supporter doesn't agree with it. But anyway, on to this evening. Joining me this evening is very nice. Sorry, I'm getting a bit tongue-tied. It's very nice to welcome back Andy, Mr. Gooner Man Slim. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, thanks for having us on again. Appreciate that.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Always our pleasure. And making his debut show tonight, a man I haven't spoken to for a long, long time. It's Colo Tor. No, I'm only joking. It's Brandon Tops, everyone. Welcome, sir. Welcome to your debut show. How the hell are you?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. Oh, thanks for giving me the call up. I feel like I've waited patiently for my debut, and got that call, the international call up now. So yeah, I'm excited
to be here. Now, son.
Excited, yeah, mate. Yeah,
it's all on you now to keep. It's all on you now to keep your place.
Exactly.
My right hand man at Gatwick Airport, waiting for a plane to Cape Verde, Mr. Lee Judges. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you very much, Craig. Thank you. Very good. All good. All good.
Of course you're good. Of course you're good. You're going somewhere hot tomorrow.
That's it. Like that. No work. No work.
Just leave me here. Leave me here in the cold. And you have a good time, mate, won't you? You have a good time. Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah. Okay. Right, lads. Episode 22. We got Stoked. Square pegs, round holes. No, that's not right. Yes, it is. Square pegs, round holes. I nearly said square pegs, square holes then. Beaten 1-0 by the Orcs, the unwashed. I hate Stoke City. Do you know, it's borderline. It's actually borderline who I hate the most. Tottenham or Stoke. Really? Now, obviously, I hate Tottenham more, but Stoke, I like that far away. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. Can't stand them. Andy, I predicted a 4-1 win to Arsenal. Lee predicted a 2-1 win to Arsenal, and as we know, we've lost the game 1-0. Andy, what's your quick thoughts on the game, mate, before we dig a bit deeper?
I'll keep it short, mate, to be fair. I mean, I was confident as well. I thought confidence would be high after the escape from Leicester, and it was an escape, wasn't it?
It was, mate.
I just couldn't believe that after the shambles of that game that he stuck with the defence that he had. So I was confident until I saw the team with two left backs in the back three again, and then I kind of just knew what was coming. And it's always a Saturday afternoon as well, isn't it? We always seem to mess up on a Saturday at 5:30. I don't know what it is. But yeah, and it was what it is. But as you've just said, there's so many players out of position. It was, without bad mouthing the manager, I don't really know what he was thinking when the team was picked. And what else can you say? It was the inevitable, really.
There's not much you can say, really, is there? I mean, I hate losing to Stoke. I wish, I pray to the footballing gods that they get relegated every year. I don't know what it is about them. I just hate them. I think a lot of it has got to do with the abuse they give Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah, that's horrible. And that was apparent there.
Absolutely disgusting. It's so uncalled for. It's unbelievable. I mean, some of these Stoke fans have got it in their heads that he was asking to get his leg broken and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's just absolute. And they just revolt me, every single one of them. Sorry if you're a Stoke fan listening to this, but I can't stand you. I hate you. Brandon, what was your quick review of the game there?
Yeah, I have to agree with Andy. Like, I just think we were up against it. Like just before we kicked off, just with the team selection, just playing two left backs in in the back three. Even when we had Mertesacker, he was on the bench, and I'm thinking, well, if he's fit enough to be on the bench, then he's got to be fit enough to start. Why are we playing players out of position? And especially after we conceded 3 goals at home in our first game against Leicester, you would think that he would need to shore up the defence, and he didn't do that. Also, playing better in left wing back. I mean, I just don't see the logic in that at all. I mean, we've got Oxlade-Chamberlain playing right wing back. We've got Kolasinac, one of the best left backs in Germany in the Bundesliga, who's in Team of the Year, and we're playing him centre back. All of his 3 games have been centre back. I just don't understand. Put him left wing back where we've signed him and where we think we're going to play him this season. I just didn't think that made sense. And then just some of the substitutions were mind-boggling. Honestly, I didn't know what he was thinking. Taking Lacazette off, our record signing. We spent how much money on this guy? 52+ million. And we signed him to score goals in crucial games where we're either losing or drawing. And then to take him off to bring on Theo Walcott, I just don't know what he was thinking. It just didn't make sense. Danny Welbeck, he didn't have a good game in front of goal. Take him off. I just thought it made more sense to keep Lacazette on. And if you want to bring Theo Walcott on, fine. But take someone off that's, not been effective in front of goal. Lacazette, he got 1 chance and he scored it, even though it was given offside. And I just think the manager, he had a nightmare in terms of his team selection and just, with substitutions. And I think that's what ultimately cost us the game, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. Hard to disagree. I mean, need a goal and take off Lacazette. I agree with you, mate. It's absolutely ludicrous. And we've seen over the last 2 games that he only needs 1 chance.
Yeah.
Killer finish, wouldn't it?
One good chance and he'll put it away. I mean, the header against Leicester, what was it, 94 seconds? And it was a hell of a header. He scored against Stoke. We've seen it in the replays. No way it was offside. In a million years. We've had 2 penalty shouts. I mean, the first one in the first half was a Stonewaller. How Andre Mariner has missed that is beyond me. The second one, I don't know. Was it ball to hand more than hand to ball? I don't know who it is, but someone turned down because I can hear my echo. Don't know who it is. I think it might be Andy.
I've turned down or up.
Yeah, turn your speakers down, mate. Because I can hear myself. Yeah, okay, no worries. Judge, you were there. You were angry. And I've got to sort this out now to carry on, otherwise I can hear myself in someone's speakers. It's not Lee's. I wouldn't say it's Brandon's. It must be yours, Andy, because I can hear myself.
Do you want me to plug headphones in? See if that changes it.
Don't mind, mate, that would be the judge, you were there. It was poor, mate, wasn't it? People are talking about the penalties we didn't get, the goal disallowed. But all in all, we had enough players in that game.
Yeah, from my point of view, disappointing in every aspect. If you've ever been to Stoke, first and foremost, it's like on a business park. It's just an awful place to go to. I don't like going there. When you get there, and this is what really riles me and worries me about Arsenal more than anything else, team selection, you can go on about that, goals disallowed and whatever, is that when those fans start singing "He walks with a limp," Aaron Ramsey, that is enough inspiration for any team, any manager, to make sure you go there and give them a good stuffing. Now, last season we've done it for the first time, but it's been 8 or 9 years now of them doing that to us. Arsene Wenger letting it happen. It's just, he's one of our own players, and he's been, he's nearly had his career ruined. And those fans gloat about it, and we get turned over every year. And I come out of that ground disappointed with everything about us. And from my point of view, I look back on the game. It's one of those games we should have won it. We had so many opportunities to win it, but we didn't. It was just unfortunate game, really. We all have them. But it's just, did we give ourselves the right option to win the game? You know, the answer says the team selection, you know, if we'd have won the game, then fantastic. But if we lost the game, which is what we did, Arsene Wenger it was always going to be pillared for what he done by playing players that weren't playing in their rightful positions. You know, and I said it on the day. Arsenal Football Club playing a right back at left back, it shouldn't be happening, Craig. You know what I mean? We've got like youth teams and under 23 teams. They've got no one to play in these positions. Kieran Gibbs, for instance, you know what I mean, is being paid £80,000 a week. Why ain't he playing? Use him until he's gone. You know, there's so many questions about our performance. You know, we was lucky against Leicester. We're not going to be lucky in every game, Craig. We're not going to. We've got to make our own luck, and we've got to be in a position where if a referee makes a mistake, it doesn't really matter. And the fact of the matter is, we opened them up on several occasions. Danny Welbeck missed a couple of sitters. You know, I know we said Lacazette had one chance, but he did have one chance and he missed it. We listen. We can go around it, we can brush around it and everything like that. Alexis Sanchez gives us the X factor. There's no two ways about that, you know what I mean? And it's desperation now of chucking him in on Sunday, because if he's fit, he's got to play. But from my point of view, watching that game, I turned around to my mate Stuart and I said, this is what it's going to be like if we sell Alexis. This is what we've got to look forward to, you know? And you can see it in the crowd. There's a lot of frustration going on, Craig. You know, I don't know if it comes across on the TVs or whatever, but it's, you know, it's frustration because we all. I was speaking to a fella that, you know, I don't know him. He's over there, recognised me, and he said to me, "Why can't Arsene Wenger see that what we see? We can see that we need this, and we can see that we need that. Why did he not do it?" And I can't answer that, Craig. I cannot answer that. You know what I mean? People trying to defend Arsene Wenger, and that's their opinion, and I understand that. You know what I mean? But you can't defend, you know, a manager that's in the middle of a transfer window, Arsene Wenger, and he's playing players completely out of position. You know, Brandon's just come up with a fantastic point there. You know, we bought the tank. Or Saeed, I can't say his bloody second name. But anyway, we bought him to play wing-back. Left wing-back. We've got a centre-half on the bench. We've got another centre-half that's had one bad game and just bashed and left out. He's bloody, I've just got to point that out as well. He's ruthless, our manager, isn't he? Ruthless. There's a change in him. He's ruthless. Drops a young kid that's had one bad game in 10. But that'd be interesting there, because obviously Xhaka won't be. He'll be playing in the under-23s on next game because he had a stinker. So he'll be dropped. Willie Ezekiel's like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Arsene Wenger's ruthless to the youngsters. You know, that's why he has youngsters. That's why he don't have big star names, because he, you know, if he had, he won't be able to drop them. How come Rob Holding was dropped from that game? You know what I mean? That's disgusting. He's had one bad game. You know, and not only to be dropped for a left back to play centre half. Now, I'm not going to knock Monreal because I think that he has played well in that position. But we've got centre half that can do that job, and he can do the job on the left hand side. Every time we went down the left hand side, Craig, Bellerin had to cut back in.
Yeah.
You know, and why? This is, you know, that it's just a disappointing day all round, and unfortunately, like I said, and I'll say it again now, there's more of them to come.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a great point you bring up about Rob Holding. Arguably the worst game he's had in an Arsenal shirt. There's no one going to, you know, there's no one going to
deny that.
But there's no way he should have been dropped. Not a chance. No. It's absolute madness. What we'll do is now is we're going to have a look at some player ratings. Okay. I've actually gone through these myself. and laughed at a couple of them, to be honest with you. We've got Petr Cech here. Early chances. They had him sprinting off his line, but had no answer to a good finish from Jesse. That's true enough. Jesse, I thought was a good goal. Petr Cech, 6.5. Not much we can really say about Petr Cech, to be honest. I don't think he could have done anything with that the goal any better. I thought it was a great, very well placed effort. We're 1-0 down. Now Mustafi, and they say here, yet another Arsenal defender who does not look particularly comfortable in the system. And the Stoke fans unhappy with his late lunge at Peters. I wasn't unhappy with it. But yet another Arsenal defender who looks uncomfortable in the system. Andy, what would you say about that?
Can you hear me right now?
Yes,
yeah. I don't really know, man. I don't know where to start. I mean, all the player ratings that are on there that they've got, when you're playing players at a position like Lee just said, you got Monreal's done well there, who has done well there previously.
1 second there, Andy. Has everyone got headphones in? Because I can hear Andy. It's got to be coming from somewhere.
I've just taken mine out. I haven't changed my audio since I started, mate.
I've got someone's speakers giving me really bad feedback.
I'll take mine out.
Mine's plugged in now, but...
Oh, that's better. Stopped. Carry on, sir. Mustafi, another defender that looks uncomfortable in the system.
Yeah, I mean, again, how long has he been playing for us? And do we still know where his best position is across there? I mean, I said on this podcast when I was last on that I don't believe that three at the back is right for us. And I think what papered over that comment was the fact that we went on a bit of a run and at the end of last season, and you know, and we did go on a run and we had an excellent result at Wembley and stuff like that. But obviously the facts have come out now that since we've done that, we're actually conceding more goals at the back, which seems daft and crazy. And again, when you've got, you know, the only team we did come up against that we got stuffed was Spurs. You know, Spurs away, a difficult tie. I mean, Wembley aside, because one off at Wembley, I see that as different to league games in and out. But yeah, again, it's another player who's been there a year, and again, I think he deserves another year. There's talks of Inter and stuff coming in for him, and that he might potentially be going. There's a load of rubbish media going around that he's not settled and he's not happy at Arsenal. But again, it's just another player who, you know, what is his best position? Because when he first came, he hit the ground running next to Koscielny in that back, you know, in that back four. He was fine, and then he got injured, and he comes back, and now look at him. He just seems to be. I mean, he was never going to boss that. He was never going to boss that three at the back against Stoke. There was only one man that was, and he's got a World Cup, and he's our captain, but he was on the bench. So, you know, it is frustrating when you look at that, and you can see it.
Absolutely, Brandon. Let's go back to the ratings, mate. We've got here Nacho Monreal, a 5. Still should. Bloody hell, I can't read, I can't talk, I can't do anything. Still should not be played at the back in this sort of formation. Nacho Monreal, and he was given a 5.
Right. Yeah, I have to agree with Andy. I mean, it's hard to judge these ratings because you've got all these players and they're playing out of position. I think Monreal, he was in the centre of the 3. And normally when he's playing in the back 3, he's normally on the left. And he does a decent job, to be fair. But it's like what Lee was saying earlier. I think he should be, you know, a backup to the left wing back. You know, we've seen him play fantastic games last season, particularly against Manchester City at Wembley when he played that left wing back role. And I think that's where, you know, that's probably his best position for Arsenal at the minute. We need to be playing, you know, 3 centre-backs in the back 3 where we're comfortable and we're not relying on, you know, left-backs playing in a, you know, a makeshift back 3. You know, you look at Chelsea, do they play with any makeshift centre-backs? Or you look at someone like Tottenham as well, when they go to a back 3, they have 3, you know, strong centre-backs who can play in that position, who's used to playing in that position, you know. If you look at Monreal, would you think he would get into any of their 2 back defences playing in the back three? I don't think so. So a 5, it might be a bit harsh because he's playing out of position, but you could say he maybe could have reacted quicker to the goal that they scored in terms of Jesse running off the back of him. But as I said, he's out of position, so it's not something he's used to, and I just don't think it suited him, to be honest. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Absolutely. Lee judges, Hector Bellerin has been given a 6.5. Busy down the right, especially in the first half. Busy down the right.
On the left.
Yeah, busy down the left, I think they should say. Especially
I think they probably meant them attacking down the right, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
And came close to picking the Stoke defence on more than one occasion with his crossing. 6.5 lead for Hector Bellerin. You there, mate? Hello, Lee.
Looks like he's frozen.
Right,
Yeah.
he's frozen, isn't he? Let it go, let it go. He's frozen. Andy, we'll come to you. Hector Bellerin, 6.5, sir.
Again, what we're going to say, I mean, it was so predictable. I mean, they targeted him down that side. I don't know if you noticed, but every time that they got the ball from a goal kick position or from deep, they were punting it out to him, and he was targeted every time. Which again, when the substitutions happened, I don't know why we didn't just take him off and move everyone along. But you know, the 6.5. I think that's probably fair. Bearing in mind, you know, bearing in mind how small he is, he did deal with some aerial threats there, but again, not protected at all when they did attack. My concern was that we lost the ability to cross balls in because every time he got down to that position, he had to come in on his left because he's not that sided. So he always cutting from the left instead of bombing down to the touchline, what Kolasinac would do. He couldn't do that, so every time he had to come in central, and you know, even on the 85th minute when we're chasing a goal, you can see us coming. Both our wing backs, so we had to come in and cut in and try and create something through the middle, and they just shut up shop. As soon as that goal went in, I knew we weren't going to get anything from it because they just shut up shop. So yeah, that, you know, again, it's hard to criticise him when he's being played in the wrong position.
Judges, this is a good one. I'm actually glad you've come back when you have actually. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has been given an 8.
8?
8. And listen to the description. People, just remember, people are getting paid to do this. His pace against Peters was a weapon, and one superb pass set up Welbeck for a great chance. 8. Take from that what you will, Lee. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain given an 8.
Well, I'd hate to see him. He must get about 15 when he's had a good game then. You know what I mean? So, listen, he didn't have a bad game. I wouldn't say that he was that bad, if I'll be honest. But 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a bit generous, isn't it?
Very, very generous, you know what I mean? What was Mustafi's rating?
Mustafi's rating was a 6. And the little bit of text underneath, yet another Arsenal defender who does not look particularly comfortable in this system.
Well, if he got a 6, then you know, I would say Ox has definitely got an 8 then, you know what I mean? Because, you know, that he was that poor. Monreal got 5, and I thought he was 10 times better than Mustafi. You know,
yeah,
it looks like I've used the wrong website.
You know, who's ever writing these ratings, like, you know, sack him and I'll do his job. You know what I mean? Because that's poor. You know, the best anybody got was 7. And I think, if I'll be honest, I don't think like the 2 best players for me on the day was probably Chamberlain and Ramsey. But I'm not saying that they was standing by any. They had half decent games, but. I have to say with Chamberlain, I thought his final ball on Saturday weren't quite right, if I'll be honest. So, you know, yeah, his pace caused problems, but Usain Bolt's pace would cause problems. It depends what he's got at the end of it, isn't it? And, you know, well, you know, I mean, I would say like 6.5 at the maximum for him. 6, maybe a 7. Same, yeah. But you know, if you've got 8 out of 10, you've had a really good game, haven't you? I'd be well pleased if I got 8 out of 10 every week. Yeah. I'd be pleased with myself. I don't think he'd go off there saying that he was absolutely pleased with himself, if I'll be honest.
Yeah, we have got Aaron Ramsey, 6.5. Two really good chances in the first half kept out by Butland, but he continued to find space behind the Stoke back three. Tops, what you got to say about that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I think I agree with Lee. I think he was one of our best players going forward. I thought he was making some good runs off the back of it. And on another day, he could have got himself a couple of goals or two. But I don't know. I'm not sure about, the partnership with him and Xhaka. Especially when Xhaka, he gives the ball away so poorly and Ramsey was caught up the field. I don't know if we're playing him in the right position. I think Ramsey's best position is definitely one of them number 10 roles, so he doesn't have the license and, the stress of getting back in position if Xhaka makes a mistake. So I think Ramsey, he was getting forward and doing his job, but I think the team didn't really help him because there was no one to fill in when he was going forward. He just left Xhaka isolated and he's not got the best mobility in the world, and if he gives away a sloppy ball, we're going to be in trouble. So going forward, I thought he was decent, but yeah, I think defensively we need someone to fill that hole when he goes forward.
Absolutely. I'm just going to skip a couple here, but I'll read the ratings. They've given Lacazette 5.5, still finding his way into the new club and system. Scored in inverted commas. His only chance, but was offside. Danny Welbeck given a 5.5. Goodness, that's generous.
Yeah, very.
Busy and constant. What? Busy and a constant threat.
Yeah, until he gets to kick the ball.
Yeah, until he gets the ball. Yeah, but needs to find a more clinical edge. Missed 3 good chances. Now the next thing I can talk about. On Saturday I was so cross. And I knee-jerked again. People who follow me on Twitter know that I like to knee-jerk a lot. But it's not until I've calmed down and I've had a few Captain Morgans that I actually sit back and take a look. Now, they've given Mesut Ozil a 5.5, right? Started brightly like his team, but it became increasingly anonymous as Stoke began to take control, needed more from him. Andy, he created 11 goal-scoring opportunities on Saturday. I've isolated him. A lot of the Twitter sphere slated him. But 11 goal scoring chances. I mean, what more do we want him to do? I sat down and thought about it. I was very harsh on him. What more do we want him to do? He set up 11 chances.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I don't think there is much more he can do. I mean, I just don't know whether. Again, I just don't know whether it's right in this system. We leave him exposed, but you're right in what you're saying. I mean, it's very hard to point fingers and call people out and whatever when we lose. But if he's created 11 clear-cut chances, I'm guessing them facts are correct, then you're right in what you're saying. What more do you want from the guy? What more can you possibly request that he does? Out of 11 chances, you'd like to think that we could convert, 2 of those?
Yeah.
Minimum?
It's baffling. Brandon, what you got to say about that? Ozil, creating plenty of chances for us, but he's still getting dug out.
I think he was wrong to get dug out for Saturday's game. I think what Steven Gerrard was saying about him, Arsenal having to carry him. I don't think that was relevant.
No, that was bang out of order. I know even after Ozil there, yeah.
Exactly. I didn't think he was irrelevant for the game because we dominated possession and Stoke only had 1 or 2 chances, and obviously luckily for them they took one. But I think the problem with people with Mesut Ozil is that he creates all these chances and stuff, but I think people want him to take the game by the scruff of the neck and maybe go for a goal himself, maybe try and score, put one in the top corner, because we all know he's got the ability to do it, and I think that's what separates probably him from like an Alexis Sanchez. I mean, we all like to compare and say that they're our 2 best players, but I think that's what Sanchez does more often, takes the game by the scruff of the neck when we're losing or drawing, and he does put one in the top corner, or does find that pass that someone scores. And I think with Mesut Ozil, he does try, and I think he did improve throughout the game, and he did create a couple of good chances, one for Bellerin, I remember as well. But I just think, especially with his body language, it is easy to scapegoat him and think, he's not trying and stuff like that, because he's got his arms in the air and he's huffing and puffing. But I think going forward, he did try in the second half. He looked like one of our best creative players. But as I said, maybe if he can just add a bit of a goal threat to his, to his game, then maybe people will be, off his back as much as they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee, I'll come to Lee. Granit Xhaka has been given a 5.5. give the ball away too often, a bad habit for a defensive midfielder, and failed to impose himself again against supposedly modest opposition. Now, fun fact of the day is that Granit Xhaka and Mesut Ozil have created the most chances in an Arsenal shirt this year. Created. I did have it all written down and ready, but I forgot to bring it with me. But they're the two players in our team that have created the most goal-scoring opportunities so far. I know he gave away the ball twice at Leicester, but he kind of made it up for me in the way that he created to. He's had a poor game again against Stoke. I think I've jinxed him, because just before the Leicester game, I tweeted out that he was going to be he was going to be Supporters Player of the Year. So, Granit, if you're watching, sorry about that, mate. So, I had such big hopes for him, Lee. It just looks like it's not going to happen.
Listen, he's had a bad game. There's no two ways about it. 5.5? Very generous. You know, it's just had a bad game. I don't think at the end of it you could say, listen, everybody's entitled to a bad game. Don't matter who you are. You know, it's how you respond in the next one. And for me, I think that whatever he tried on Saturday just weren't going to happen for him. So, you know, unfortunately, that was one of those things. But I wouldn't go too bad about it, overboard about it at the moment. I think it's just, you know, one bad game, move on, forget about it. You know, he's going to have some good games. Listen, he's got a fantastic range of passing. Look at the game against Leicester. I don't give what people say. He might give a ball away a couple of times. That pass for Ramsey was, you know, brilliant.
Oh, super.
Outside of his boot. So he's going to go. You know, I was talking to my dad about it the other day, and I said, did Liam Brady ever have a bad game? And he went, yeah, of course he had a few. But you know, you could count on a handful, you know, how many bad games he had. But when you're a player of that sort of style of play, where you can go on the park and just play 10-yard passes and all that, you're going to get a good percentage. He does do some difficult passes, long range, but sometimes they're going to go off the radar a little bit. And I just think at the end of the day, he's a good player, but could we improve on Xhaka? I mean, that was the question, you know, in this transfer window, could we? And I think, yeah, we could. There are better players out there that will do the job. Xhaka's a very, very good player. Is he world class in that role? No. But what role does he actually play, Craig? Well, I think that's a question. You know what I mean? He ain't really a holding midfield player for me. And I say this, and no disrespect to him, because I watched him on Saturday. He doesn't get around the park very, very quickly. He's not like a Kante that can get across and that. Like, he's a little bit. He's not sluggish. He's just not as mobile, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, so to play him in there as the holding midfield player is a little bit harsh. You know, it's like Coquelin does that better than him. Coquelin will get across, do all that, like. But when he's got the ball, Coquelin, he hasn't got the range of passing of Xhaka. So you need someone that can do both. And unfortunately, we've got Xhaka that can do one part of it, and Coquelin does the other part. You know, so maybe them two as a partnership would work. I know, but I just think the team's just not quite. I just think the team's not quite balanced properly with those two. You know, I think we need to play two holding midfield players, and I mean two proper holding midfield players like Petit and Vieira, and then somebody in front of them like an Ozil or a Ramsey, and they do their job properly. You know, like trying to get us open and all that. Like, you know, and I just think at the minute, no one really knows what Xhaka's best position is. He's not a box-to-box player, Craig. He can go up and down, but again, I'm going to have to agree with Brandon. You know, there are times when if he does make a mistake from a pass, we're left exposed, and then they're onto our back four or back three, should I say, quite comfortably. Like the goal, makes the mistake, bang, they're in. You know, people trying to blame Ramsey for that. Well, it ain't Ramsey's fault that he's given the ball away. You know what I mean? You know, believe in your teammates, believe in your players, and everything like that. You know what I mean? So, it's
what I will say about that, Lido, is that I'm again, not that Ramsey was to blame, but he weren't even in a screenshot when they scored that goal. Ramsey needs to be more disciplined or know when to bomb forward and when not to bomb forward, because that fuck up by Xhaka, there was no one, you know, if that had been, I don't know, potentially if that had been El Nene with him, you would have had someone then that could have potentially made it back and got back, because they wouldn't be as far up the pitch. But obviously then there is times where they do need Ramsey. You want Ramsey up there and you want him in that final third, but you know, you do need to box clever to say, well, hang on, if Xhaka loses the ball here, we're fucked.
Yeah, but Xhaka shouldn't lose the ball there, though, Andy. That's my point. You know what I mean?
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, yeah, no, you are, yeah, you're right in what you're saying. But everyone in the situation, he was that far away, he couldn't even get in the screenshot of when that goal went in. He wasn't in line. He wasn't even in the camera angle, which shows how far forward he was.
But I look at people like Tony Cruz at Real Madrid. He gets the ball and picks it up. I don't see Modric nowhere near him. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because they believe in what he can do. You know, that this is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can look at that, but then when you look at somebody like, you know, somebody like of that ilk, he gets the ball, picks it up from the back four. Steven Gerrard used to do it a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't see no one else near him because they believed in what he can do. Xhaka shouldn't be giving the ball away like that. And that's the facts, you know what I mean? It's you know, you can't keep blaming other people for it. He's just had a bad game on the day, but he did give away the ball a couple of times against Leicester, which you get punished for as well. So right, we're going to say right, okay, right, we've played two holding midfield players now because just in case Xhaka gives the ball away.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
If he's had two bad games now, does he drop him like he's done with Holding?
Well, listen, I think against Liverpool, I would play him and Coquelin. I'd bring back Coquelin for this game, you know what I mean? But no, I don't think he wasn't that bad against Leicester, you know what I mean? There was some of his play was sublime, you know what I mean? He's just had a bad game, and I just think we should just forget about it and move on. That's how I feel about it, you know.
Well,
you know,
as you say, it's done. We've lost. We lost 1-0. Move on. Let's move on. I can stew about it like an apple in a saucepan being prepared for an apple pie, as much as I want. But the short and curlies of it is I'm still going in the apple pie. I can't change it. Can't change the result. We've lost 1-0 to those horrible bastards. Can't stand them. Moving on. Thanks for everyone who's watching us live. 200 of you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, please do. Just down there somewhere. Down there somewhere. Follow us on Twitter at the same old AFC and come and join the discussion. I'm going to be asking you now, please, for your questions for our panel. And just while I wait for some questions to come through, tweet them, please, to at the same old Arsenal Twitter account, and we will go through them and we will pick the best ones. Now, this morning when I woke up, I was reading this little beauty. Now, some of you might be aware of this, some of you might not be aware of this, and I just want to get the panel's thoughts on it. I thought it was very, very interesting. This was written by the AST. For those of you who haven't heard it, I'm just about to read some of it. Now, Thursday night footy, what will it mean for Arsenal's finances? Question, how much will not qualifying for the Champions League cost Arsenal? In total, we expect Arsenal playing in the Europa League instead of the Champions League will directly cost the club around £30 million. It's 2017-18 season. This is due to a number of factors, largely the loss of broadcast revenue from UEFA. There is only likely to be some loss in gate receipts and an impact on the ability to secure increased sponsorship revenues, offset by a wages saving as some player bonuses won't be paid. Another cost is the increased difficulty of attracting and retaining their very best players, which is exactly what we're going through now. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Alexis Sanchez, is he going? Is he staying? Is Oxlade-Chamberlain staying? Is he going? Is Mustafi going? The new one that's come out. Is he going to Inter Milan? Unbelievable scenes. They knock it right on the head here. Loss of TV revenue explained. This year we expect Arsenal to earn about 60 million from the Champions League, £50 million as UEFA pay in euros and exchange rates are volatile, yada, yada. The Europa League offers much less. As a benchmark, Spurs made 20 million for reaching the last 16 2 years ago. In those 2 seasons, we've earned 60 million from the Champions League. The difference is due to how UEFA allocate money based on performance in the domestic league as well. So the AST are anticipating a reduction in TV revenue of £33 million. Massive, absolutely massive. Will Arsenal make a profit this season? We expect Arsenal to record a pre-tax profit of 40 million. This is obviously last season. This stems from the increased revenues from the bumper new Premier League deal and a saving on us not having to pay out Champions League bonuses. At the moment, as from today, Arsenal Football Club are sitting on £64 million plus the Lucas Perez and plus whoever else is going to go. So if we wake up tomorrow morning and Lucas Perez is sold for £14 million, as is doing the rounds, we are sitting on 78 million with 7 days left of the transfer window. Judges, what you got to say about that?
Well, is that all? Is it only 78 million? Because, where's all this money going? If they're earning £30 million a year every Champions League, well, I'll make that over 17 years a lot of money. I just don't understand where it all goes. You know what I mean? It would help if they stopped paying Kroenke $3 million. That would help and all. That'd buy someone in a couple of years' time, wouldn't it? That's shocking. It's shocking, Craig. You know what I mean? 60 million. Yeah. Arsenal Football Club have got 60-70 million pounds to spend. That's all.
It is actually, when you say it like that, it is shocking, isn't it? Really. When you think that Man United have gone out and bought,
so we can't afford Lukaku. That's what we're saying, yeah. Yeah. We've been at the Emirates. We've been at the Emirates. What? 2007, isn't it? 2006. 10 years. 10, 11 years. We've been at the Emirates, and we can't afford Lukaku.
Yeah, but Craig, I'm guessing that's net, isn't it? That's after we've bought.
Well, we had 90 million. We bought Lacazette.
Yeah.
We sold Chesney. We sold Chesney, and we sold someone else. Gabriel. Okay. So net, we have spent what's that? That's 32 million, isn't it? No, sorry, 42 million. There's 64 million at the moment sitting there. So if they sell Lucas Perez tomorrow for 14, that's 78. Sorry about my mathematics. I'm awful. I'm awful at maths. Don't ask me.
That would buy you Van Dijk, though, wouldn't it? Buy you Van Dijk as a minimum.
Minimum, but is that enough? You know what I mean?
No, it ain't. Well, that's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We should be spending around about £150 million this year. End of. But I can't get my head around this here. 10 years we've been at the Emirates. We can't afford someone like Lukaku. We've just been paying the top weight. We've been paying the top fans. We've been paying top ticket prices. Not in just in England, in Europe, right? And we can't afford no more than just Van Dijk. Is that what we're saying here?
That's what we're saying. Now, whether this information is true or not, obviously, I'm reading it from the horse's mouth. That's a report written in May of this year.
And that is where the other big clubs, Craig, their owners will put their money in their own fucking pockets to top up what they need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Kroenke's never ever gonna. I mean, I can't think of one situation where he's gone, do you know what? We're £20 million short here. Do you know what? I'll put that into the club and go and do it. He won't. And Lee hit the nail on the head the other day when he was saying about all the fighting and the aggro and the arguments on Twitter, not just on Twitter, but physically at matches as well, about Wenger in, Wenger out. It's not about that. It's like Lee hit the nail on the head. It's about, well, you know, we've literally got an owner that just doesn't care about the football side. He just doesn't. You know, he's turned us back, and I honestly do think that he's turned us back into a cup team, because that's what we've become.
Yeah.
Damn mates that say to me, West Ham mates that say to me, "Why are you moaning for? You're always in. You've got a chance of potentially winning the league every season. You get into the top. You know, you've been in the Champions League season after season. You get to go all over Europe to watch Arsenal. You've won the FA Cup however many times. Why are you still moaning?" And then they're actually right. But we've gone back. We've gone back before Wenger was in charge. We are now a typical cup team. You know, we're hoping to push for Europe, and we might get the odd FA Cup or here or there. And if you look at it as that stance, we're actually pretty good at that.
Yeah.
And that's
Andy, the reason we're moaning, though, right, and this is what I say to I was speaking to a Spurs mate of mine yesterday. The reason that we're moaning is because we've been sold a dream. They've took away Ivory to turn around to us and say, we're taking this away from you. We're taking every bit of history that why you supported this club to go to this bowl. Right, but this bowl is going to make us one of the best teams in Europe, and this bowl now has produced £60 million that we can spend in a transfer window. It is. I'm telling you that now. If it was as an Arsenal Football Club, you could go to the police and have this. You could have them done for fraud, because they've absolutely conned us. It's like going to Spain and buying a villa, and when you get there, it's on swampland. It's an absolute joke what they've done to us. We can't afford no more than Van Dijk. Get your head around that. This is through 10 transfer windows, one transfer window of buying just Petr Cech for £15 million.
Yeah,
right?
No, mate, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's what we've
Where's
become.
all the money from that year gone? You know what I mean? Something's got to be. Someone at this club has got to come out and say, "We ain't got the money." Well, why haven't you got the money? If you haven't got the money, you fouled. Get out. If you're not prepared, if you haven't got the money, Mr. Kroenke, then do yourself a favour and piss off, and get somebody in there that is prepared to do it. Because I'm sick and tired now of what I'm seeing week in, week out. Scrimping and saving, and if this is the case, what the hell are they prepared to lose £150 million of this if we've only got 60 million to spend? Fuck it, sell Sanchez, sell Chamberlain, and sell Ozil, get in another 180 odd million and spend it. But
the worrying thing is they won't. That's the thing. I mean, I know you guys said the other day about, you know, you both openly said that you think that Lex won't play. I mean, I've a couple of people that normally post up pictures, training pictures. Alexis ain't trained this week. Alexis has not trained from what I know, and I don't know this as fact, but from what I've seen, there's normally pictures of the training sessions, and all the pictures of training sessions that I've seen, Alexis has not been training this week. And I actually said to DT the other day, I don't think he's going to be playing at Anfield, and I think he'll be gone.
I don't think I don't know whether he'll be gone before Saturday, but he'll definitely be gone in 7 days. I am quite convinced of that.
Craig, he's got to, if that's the case. If that is the case, if he's got to go, if we can only buy £60 million, he's got to go.
But Brandon, would you agree with me and Lee on what we said last week? We've got 7 days left of this transfer window, right? Yeah. And we've all this talk about, Alexis going here, Alexis going there. What's your personal opinion on it, mate? Do you agree with me when I say? I can remember my dad always saying to me, one year I got upset, someone left Arsenal, I can't remember who it was, and I asked my dad, I said, what's he leaving for? And he said, don't worry about it, son. He said, if they don't want to play for the Arsenal, they can leave. And that has always stuck in my head, and this is why I'm like this with Alexis Sanchez. If you don't want to be here, just go. Right, just go. We've got 7 days left in the transfer window. Could we get 70 million for him? We probably could. But what if he goes for 70 million on transfer deadline day?
Mate, I can't. It's a very complex one, mate. I mean, like you say, I agree with you. You know, if you don't want to play for Arsenal Football Club, you should definitely go. But I don't know what we've been doing. You know, we knew that his contract was, coming up for 1 year this year. We knew that people were wanting to buy in. Manchester City, PSG have come out. So if we're going to sell him, we should have done this months ago. We should have just got rid of him, saying, right, this is the price that we're going to accept for Alexis, and then bring in replacements, whether it's Lamar, whether it's Mahrez, and just move on from there. But the fact that it's a week left, we still don't know if he's going to sign a new contract. We still don't know if he's going to be at the club. Personally, I don't think he will be. I think I agree with you guys. We're going to sell him in the last day. And the thing is, I don't trust the club to spend the money. Like Lee was just saying, we went one transfer window. Ironically, it was actually the first summer transfer window. Sanchez, was at the club. And we spent 10 mil on a goalkeeper. Sanchez must have been thinking, what have I come here for? Arsene Wenger's probably promised him, yeah, we're going to sign this player and that player next summer. And he signed a keeper and not improved the team. So even he's been lied to an extent. So I just don't understand the logic. It makes no sense. We need to strengthen the team, because if we sell him and buy no one, we are in deep, deep trouble. I mean, you've got to think about it like this. We finished 5th with him last season, and he scored 30 goals, 24 league goals, the first person to do that since Robin van Persie, and we still finished outside the top 4. So you take away them 30 league goals, where are we going to finish this season? It's just absolutely mind-boggling how we put ourselves in this position time after time with our best key players. I mean, it's looking bleak. I think he's going to go. I don't think we've got enough time to sell, because if the rumors are true and we're haggling over Lamar over 50 mil, 60 mil, Monaco just going to be like, well, you desperately need him. You just sold your star player. It's the last week of the transfer. It's going to go up to 70 mil, 80 mil. We know we've got the money because you've just sold Sanchez. And we're going to have to pay over the odds. And that's exactly what we did with Mustafi last season. Paid 35 mil when we could have got him for 25. And it's just the same cycle every single year. We still don't know the future of Ozil or the Arcs. Are we going to sell them as well? And if we do, we have to replace them, because we're going to have to be, replacing them with either kids or people that are in exile at the minute that we don't normally play. So I just think it's a mess, and it's just based off the incompetence of the board, of Arsene Wenger, of the people who are controlling the transfers, that they just think we're just going to accept this and just think, oh, we'll carry on going. We don't need to improve the team. They always come back in the end. And I just think this is so disrespectful to the fans that go, like Lee and other fans that go home and away, travel there, spend their hard-earned money, come back at stupid time at the middle of the night, and they don't even see the manager or the board try to improve the team. At least put the money in the team and try and improve it. I mean, we finished 2nd a couple of years ago. We spent £90 million. And last season, we finished 5th, the first time in 21 years. And we've not spent half of that. It's a net spend of something like 30 mil. So how can we have spent less when we finished worse off than the season before? We should be spending more. We should be spending, like Lee said, 150 minimum to improve the team. It just doesn't make sense. I just think we've just been taken for a ride. And the Alexis Sanchez, I think it's only going to end one way, and that's, in tragedy for Arsenal fans, because we're either going to lose him this season or next, and I don't think we're going to replace him this season. So I think it's going to be a long season, mate. I really do.
Yeah, that's my obviously.
I'll tell you what's going to. Sorry, Craig. I'll tell you what's going to happen. We'll sell Sanchez and we'll buy Mahrez. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say that. I think Mahrez. We know Mahrez wants to come to Arsenal. He's put in a transfer request. Lee, I was literally about to say that. Mahrez is a deal that we could get done within 3 or 4 days. And I think we'd just go in, we'd wave 45, 50 million under their nose for Mahrez. And again, though, but Mahrez typically is a right-sided player, and where does he fit into our system? I mean, if Sanchez goes, then he will play. But for me, that's going backwards. To sell Sanchez and buy Mahrez, that's backwards again. Yeah. And you speak to people, I mean, I have debates all the time. I've had debates on Twitter today with people, and I've just decided I'm not going to get involved in any of that bollocks now, because there's people on there that are going, oh, respect the manager, don't talk to him, don't talk about him in a bad way, and blah, blah, blah. But all what we've discussed today, I get the issues with the board, gents, I really do. But there's one man to blame. There's only one man to blame. Why all these contracts haven't been done, why we haven't signed the players we've signed, why the team's been being the team selection's being done week after week. He's being selected wrongly. Substitutions are a shambles. The board don't make them decisions. The board don't pick the team. The board don't make the substitutions. It's one man that does that. And I honestly do think if we continue where we're going, we are just going to be a glorified cup team. You know, we're going to fight to get into the Champions League, potentially end up in Europe, and hopefully get an FA Cup here or there. But that's not good enough after what Lee's just said. If we were going to be that team, I would have kept Highbury all day long.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's a very good point, and you're saying about Arsene Wenger. Like, you know, we went up there on Saturday with my mates and we said, like, it was a great day until Arsene Wenger got involved. And then this sums it up. Soon as you know, it's a great day until 2 o'clock when the team comes out. You know, he ruins the day. And the fact of the matter is, I look at Arsene Wenger. You've got to ask the question about this, Craig. You know, going about it now, like it is. You know, people go, "Oh, don't be personal. You've got to carry on supporting Arsene Wenger." Why should I support a man that keeps conning me every season? Why should I support a man that tells me there's going to be change, and the only thing that changes is our kits? You know, I mean, this is a fact. Nothing else has changed apart from we've got 3 new kits. Guaranteed that's going to happen. Now, every transfer window, we don't know what we're going to get. But I'll tell you what, in those transfer windows, the kits get changed. But what else gets changed?
Well, I mean, and that hit the nail on the head. I mean, the sub when he took Lacazette off and put Walcott on. I mean, how many seasons has he now made that substitution and it's not fucking worked? Walcott has done, you know, regardless of what people say about Theo, we're here now. We're making that substitution. We're taking off our world record centre forward, and we're putting on Theo Walcott. For me, this, you know, again, I mean, you know, someone hit the nail. I was talking to the Gooners in the USA the other day, and they hit the nail on the head with this. It's the, you know, the first sign of insanity is doing the same thing week in, week out and expecting different results. And I honestly do think that there's something mentally not right with Wenger because, you know, what do we think is going to happen on Sunday? Is he going to stick with that same back three? Because I know Koscielny's back, but how likely is it that Wenger goes, "Oh, Koscielny's on the bench because he's not quite ready yet," and we go with the same again? You know, it wouldn't surprise any of us, would it?
Wouldn't surprise me at all, mate. We're going to move on to some Twitter questions because we're fast approaching running out of time for this week. This one comes in from Colin. Good evening, Colin. How are you, mate? Thanks for your question and thanks for watching. Oh, just before I carry on, actually, anyone in the Twitter, in the YouTube chat box that has been offended by that absolute mug that has been in there, who I have now just blocked. Someone's brought it to my attention. I'm very sorry about that. I've blocked him. He will never be back in there again. My complete apologies. Now, if anyone sees anyone acting like that again while you're watching live, please tell me. All you've got to do is tweet me the username, and I'll block them straight out. I'm trusting people to use the chat box, you know, to use it while it's there. It's there for you to chat to the other fans watching it, not to be racist or homophobic towards anyone. If you do, I just block you straight away. No questions asked. Behave yourself.
Was that an Arsenal fan as well?
I don't know. I think he's a bit of a troll to having a go at someone in the chat box. Probably a troll, you know.
Idiot.
Nothing else to do. Probably run out of rollies, smoking butt roll-ups in his, I don't know where he is. Can't afford fags, but he can afford the internet. Anyway, let's get on with it. Brandon.
Yeah, mate.
Brandon. Colin says, do you feel that the squad size is adequate for the league games, cup games and Europa League with our injury record?
It's a good question. I mean, we've got quite a lot of players in the squad, but obviously the problem you've got is that, you know, most of these players are either not good enough or have been exiled from the team. You know, people like Debuchy, Jenkins, obviously Jenkins left, Gibbs we've still got. So I think the squad is big enough, but we get so many injuries. You know, I can bet you bottom dollar someone like a Ramsey's going to be injured. Koscielny's going to be injured. Mertesacker, he's in his last year. He's probably going to be injured at some stage. So I don't know. I think we do need a couple of centre-backs. We're already playing left-backs there. You know, El Nene's played there in pre-season. Maitland-Niles has played there. And I'm so worried that Arsene Wenger's going to, you know, revert back to playing them players there if we've got a pile of injuries, especially in that defence. So, obviously, I'd love for it to be replaced with, obviously, quality and quantity at the same time. But we've just not got enough time. I think 7 days left. We need to ship loads of players out. I don't think we're going to sign anyone personally, myself. So I just think we've just left it too long. In terms of squad being big enough, I don't think so. I think we're going to have to either pick one or the other, to be honest. I don't think we could challenge for the league or even compete in top four and be successful in the Europa League. We see Man United, they finished 6th and won the Europa League. They had to pick which one they want, and eventually they went with the Europa League because it was a trophy and they could get into the Champions League that way. So I think we might have to do the same. We might have to think, wow, we either want to try and go for the league or try and go for the Europa League, because it's very difficult to go with both, and you need a magnificent squad to do it. So, yeah, I don't think we've got a big enough squad now, mate.
KG is thread 10. Thanks for your question. I think we answered that just before we come to the questions asking us, do we believe that will Alexis Sanchez stay? This one comes in from Karen Russell. Sorry. Good evening, Karen, and thanks for your question. Thanks for watching us. She says she's starting to lose hope, Lee. But do we think that we will sign anyone else? She thinks that we need at least another centre-back and another central attacking midfielder. Lee, are we going to sign anyone else?
No. We will do if we sell Sanchez and Chamberlain and Ozil. I don't think none of them will. If they go, then we'll sign a couple of players. As I said, I think we'd sign Mahrez. But you know, I've got to be all doom and gloom here and say that if we even sell Sanchez, I can't see us getting an adequate replacement in. I'll be honest. I think we're done. I think we're done in the transfer window, if I'll be honest.
It's not doom and gloom, Lee. It's just the truth. You know, it's people tweet me all day, all night. Oh, you're so negative. Your podcast's so negative. People in the comments, oh, you're so negative. All you do is moan. When in fact it's just the facts. I'd like to see what TV they're watching our games on.
Listen, I think that's a bit harsh about us moaning, because you went, you know, when we signed Lacazette, you was all full of it. You know what I mean? Like, you was happy, and you know what I mean. So I had to try and calm you down that night. You know what I mean? So we just try to be fair. You know what I mean? Well, I'd love to be positive, Craig. I'd love to be talking about what a great signing he is. What a great forward he is we've just signed, or a great centre half. But unfortunately, we're not. They're not there. You can't talk about players that are not there.
Yeah,
it's simple as that. We've got more players want to leave our club than players want to sign. It's as simple as that.
This one comes in from Jim, and Jim says to us, if we believe that there is only £78 million, then we're mistaken. Arsenal are rolling in it. They are laughing at us all. Jim, thanks for your comment, mate. If you can prove it to me that we've got more than 78 million, I'm only talking. I've only got my information from a source that I would deem quite correct. They can delve into figures like this whenever they want. So you know, if we go, Andy, if Osimov took over from Kroenke, do you guys honestly see him injecting serious cash into this club?
Well, we can only go off what he said. You know, what I do know about him is that he is a diehard Arsenal fan, or from what I've read about. I mean, like I said, from what we know, he's been a diehard Arsenal fan from when he was a boy. So that would make you think that he'd want to see us be successful. Whereas actually Kroenke don't. You know, he don't give a shit. He's literally just looking at us as leverage to borrow money in the US, and that's the reason why he's where he is. So I honestly do believe, from what Yushimov said, that yes, he would plunge money in there and give what we need, because he still believes in Wenger. He said Wenger is the man for the job. He just needs help with going out there and getting it done. But who knows? We've been told so many stories. When Stan came in, it was all a big thing about, we're getting bought out by an American billionaire. It's all going to be hunky dory, and look at us. So who knows?
Who knows?
I'd like to think so. Yes.
Who knows is right, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you all this evening. Do I feel better about it? No, I don't. How could you feel better about it supporting Arsenal? I don't know. We're gonna. Oh God, I hate this. I hate this bit. We're gonna go for some predictions for the game at the weekend. It's on. I believe it's Saturday. Is it?
Sunday.
Sunday.
4 o'clock.
Sunday, 3:30. Is it 4 o'clock kickoff? But the program starts at 3:30. Am I right?
Yeah.
Brandon, your prediction: Liverpool later.
I'm not very optimistic, mate. I mean,
I'm never going to talk to you again.
I mean, I was watching them a bit earlier, and they absolutely blitzed Hoffenheim. But they were like 3-0 up in the first 20 or 30 minutes. So going forward, they're amazing, but they are deceptible at the back. And I think Klopp's tactics, he normally has a high press against us and puts us under pressure. And I'm worried about Xhaka because, the couple of times he's given away the ball, he's not been under pressure. And Liverpool, they love to put, our players who are in possession under pressure. So he might struggle there. I think there's going to be loads of goals. But I think we will score. I think they'll score a few. I'm just going to go with like a 3-3 thriller or something. I don't think we'll win the game. But hopefully we don't lose it. But
classic.
Yeah, I think so.
10 years time, you'll be saying, "Oh yeah, I predicted this score."
Yes, score
Andy,
draws.
what are you going for, mate?
I'm gonna go with the fact that I can't see that Wenger can fuck up again for the third time in a row. So I think he'll get team selection right, and I think we'll nick a 2-1. We're due a win there, man. We're due a win at Anfield. I just think it'll be typical Wenger. Look at us all. We're all raged. We're all got the right hump and that. We've had a shit performance at Leicester. We've lost to Stoke. How would it be same old Arsenal to go and get a result there? It would be typical, wouldn't it? And then we'd all be back on the other bandwagon. So I'm going 2-1 Arsenal, and I said Lacazette and Sanchez to score. I said that on the USA one as well. So I reckon, like I said, my heart's telling me that Sanchez is going to be there and he's going to play. My head's saying that he's probably gone, but if he does play, I think he'll nick a goal and potentially the winner to win 2-1.
Be nice, wouldn't it? Lee?
3-1 Liverpool.
Oh, mate. Okay, fair enough.
You didn't like that, did you, Craig?
Man. Like that. He's in holiday mode anyway. Look at him. He's just sitting there. Oh, I wish this would end. I wish this would end so I can go to the bar. I wish this would end. Hurry up, will you?
No, listen. The reasons I'm saying that is what I see on Saturday. I think Liverpool will come out as and we won't be able to handle it. Well, that's as simple as that.
I've got to agree with you, mate. People have a go at me on Twitter as well for agreeing with everyone, but I agree with them. What's the point? The only thing that worries me, I do believe Liverpool are going to win. I don't believe we have the squad. I don't believe the team that Wenger puts out can beat them. But then saying that, football's a funny old game. We just don't know. We could go out.
He can't get it wrong again, can he? He can't.
Andy, if he gets it wrong again, I hate to know what our fan base is going to go into.
That's what my frustrating is. I mean, I literally had a really heated debate with a guy earlier who just absolutely swears by Wenger, and I said, he drinks in the Tollington, same pub I drink in before the games. I said to him, look, it'd be nice just to meet up with you face to face, have a beer and have a chat about it. I'm not going to get aggressive at people that say that they trust in Wenger and that sort of stuff. I actually want to just hear why they feel he's still doing the right things. Like after that performance, they're going, "Oh, it's the second game of the season. Why are you getting so uptight?" But it's an ongoing thing. It's not just the second game of the season. It's on and on and on and on and on.
It's not the second game of the season. It's the last 13 years.
I know, and that's what's frustrating. But that's what I'd like to know. I'd like to say, well, if he's constantly going to get the team wrong and constantly fuck up, and it was his fuck up, he fucked up, fair enough. How can these people still back him? I just can't understand their mentality and the reasons why, and they can't give me footballing reasons why, which is even more frustrating. But we'll see what happens.
I hear you. I'm going to go 2-2.
Fair one.
I'm going to go 2-2.
Fair.
I can't give you the scorers. I don't know who will score. Who will score? 2-2.
I think Lacazette will expose their defence because they are weak at the back, to be fair. But
yeah, I'd say Lacazette and Ozil. There you go. Just off the cuff. 250 of you have watched us live this evening. Thank you very much indeed. We appreciate it highly. My thanks to Andy. My thanks to Brandon. If you haven't subscribed to Brandon's channel yet, you are going to go and do it right now. He's on YouTube. Watch his reviews and previews. They are fantastic. Go over and subscribe to his channel, please, and follow him on Twitter at Arsenal Match TV and at Brandon Tops.
Cheers, mate.
You can go and follow Andy as well at Goonerman Slim. You can follow Mr. Judges at Lee Mark Judges. And if you want to follow me as well, you can find my personal account, not for the easily offended, at Scotty Boy Gooner. Once again, thanks for everyone for watching live. If you haven't subscribed to us and you're new, please subscribe and come and follow us at the same old AFC on Twitter. Liverpool at the weekend. Let's hope for a better result. Let's hope for a bit more of an upbeat podcast next week and talk about how good we were and why couldn't we be that good last week. Judge, on behalf of all the Arsenal fans worldwide, I hope you have a nice holiday, mate.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy it, Lee. Enjoy it, son.
Cheers, Andy. Thank you very much.
I'll see you at Bournemouth, yeah?
Yeah, I'm back for Bournemouth. I'm back for that game night, yeah.
When you come, will you be here next Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm back next week. I'm only going for a week, so I'll be back next week, right? Yeah, no problems.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching. We will be back next week. Until then, up the Arsenal.